If you're a small business owner, entrepreneur, let me ask you a question. Do you really know who your market is and who your ideal client is? It's very important that you understand that, and that's what I'm talking about this week, coming right up. So that might sound like a really dumb question. Do you know your market and do you know your client? It's not actually that dumb. I've been in sales for about 25 years and own a number of different businesses, and I've been fairly effective at sales and marketing. But it took me a while to start to understand who I was actually targeting and with what. And one of the things, and it's not a new thing, probably in the last 10 years or so, one of the things, the tools that really helped me was putting together a client customer avatar. Not sure if you've heard of that before. It probably came out at the time of the movie. But a client avatar is basically a profile of your perfect client. Excuse me. And why is that important? Because whatever business you're in, you shouldn't be trying to market and sell to everybody out there, because everybody doesn't need what you've got. You probably have got a particular niche or niche, if you're in North America, of people, or an industry or type profile of person who needs what you provide. And those are the people that you need to target. But if you don't know them intimately, how do you target them? That's where the client avatar comes in. And there's some key elements to this. One is come up with a bit of a personal profile. And then go through what you think some of their needs and frustrations are, and then start to understand why they're not buying from you. So let me step you through that process, and I've actually got one here that I'll go through with you. So this is from one of our businesses. So what's the profile? So our client avatar is Sandra, and Sandra is aged 42. She's married with 2 kids. She's a professional, lots of industry knowledge and experience. She's got very clear goals, plans, steps and stages. She's very happy to share those plans and partner with people who can give us the support. She's very entrepreneurial. She's got a bit of a vision. She's a great communicator. She's a great one for using tools, planning tools, and happy to share those and train her support staff. And she's realistic and not too demanding. So that's the profile for one of our businesses of our ideal client. So when it comes down to Sandra, and this is what you need to do for your ideal client, start to think about what are their wants, fears, frustrations, and desires. So don't just jump out there and try and sell them your stuff. Think of that again, I'll repeat it. What are their wants, their fears, their frustrations, and desires? And I think, comment below if I'm wrong, but I think Dan Kennedy was one of the first people to encapsulate this. So let's get back to Sandra. She wants to dominate her niche, but she needs a little bit of technical support for things that she can't do. She's very time poor. I mean, she's got 2 kids, she's running her own business. She really needs help with things, like websites and having an assistant to manage diaries and emails and CRM systems, all that kind of stuff. And then maybe later on, she wants to get into a lot more SEO and social media and those sorts of things. So she recognizes what she wants, but just hasn't quite got there yet. So Sandra is our ideal client. That third question, remember I said come up with a profile, the wants, fears, frustrations, and desires, and then why isn't Sandra buying from us? That's the trigger. Where does Sandra hang out? Be that real life, online. Where does Sandra network? Because maybe Sandra doesn't know you exist. And so you need to pop up on Sandra's radar with your marketing. So wherever that might be, particular groups and so on, online or offline, particular journals, whatever it might be, that's where you need to be popping your sign up to show Sandra. So the client avatar is a really great way, I think, to focus in and understand exactly your ideal client, in your niche, and what they're looking for. And it helps you build rapport, build a relationship with your target market. And this is so useful when you're putting videos together, if you're doing articles, even when you're conducting sales meetings. If you understand what their issues are and you understand, you can respond to that in the right language, that is so powerful. Let me just finish this with a story, and it's a true story from one of my management consulting companies. And it was interesting. We had a potential client fly from interstate to come and visit us because he had this major project that he needed help with, and he wanted to book a 2-hour meeting. So we went through, a normal sort of sales meeting. Spent a lot of time listening to, we'll call him George, listening to George, what the problems were, the sorts of issues that they were facing in the business. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that it's all about listening, and then just interjecting now and again with, oh yeah, we've done that before and we've helped this client do that before. Fantastic meeting. We were getting on like a house on fire, and we had this huge whiteboard in our office, and we had his whole business sort of mapped out on the whiteboard, and we were identifying where the issues were and so on. And it got to the point where George actually looked at his watch and he went, oh heck, I've got to get to the airport soon. I'll tell you what, I'll change my flight. I'll get one an hour later. So we're getting on really well. And it was all about, understanding the wants, fears, frustrations, and desires, not trying to push something onto George. It's about listening to George and understanding really what he needed. And going through that customer avatar process really helps you to be able to do that. So anyway, the upshot was that we starts talking about timelines and budgets. And I said, George, when do you need this work done by? And he said, 3 months, got to have it done in 3 months. And I said, George, that's a bit of an issue because we're quite busy, and we can't even start for a month. And actually this work will take 4 months. So, we can get it done in 5 months, not 3. Okay. And I said, have you got an idea of budget for this? I wouldn't normally ask a client that, but we were getting on so well, I just wanted to see if he had a realistic budget. And he said, and he turned to me and said, yeah, I've got a budget of 400,000 for this. I said, look, we won't need that much, George. Generally, we've done dozens of these projects. Generally, they're around 300,000. Oh, that's great. And so the conversation went on like that. And then as he was sort of packing up to leave to dash off to the airport, he said, I've got to get all this approved by our procurement department, and I've got to get 3 quotes and all the rest of it. He says, but look, don't worry, we'll work with you guys. And we did. And we ended up doing that project with him and many other projects with him. Great relationship. So why do I tell that story? I think it's a really good example of understanding your ideal client and really what are their issues, underneath, and being able to respond to those issues. That's what good sales is all about. So I guess the message of this video is don't go out there with a shotgun and try and sell whatever you're selling to everybody, because not everybody needs it. Niche down, understand. I think it was Dan Kennedy again who said, a niche should be an inch wide and a mile deep. Was it the riches are in the niches? To a degree, that's true. Really understand your target market at a very deep level, what their issues are and the challenges that they have, and you'll be far more successful in responding to them and getting to know them. Don't get out there with a shotgun and try to please everybody. So there we go. Knowing your client and what they want is really important in sales. So I hope that gave you food for thought, was of interest. If you're new to our channel, do think about subscribing. Hit the subscribe button. If you hit the bell, you'll be notified every time we have a new video coming out, and that's on a Tuesday, Sydney time, Sydney, Australia. And if you have any comments, feedback, whatever, do put those in below. I love to get feedback and comments. It helps us improve the videos, helps us provide more information for you. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.